Hello, and welcome to FPL Mate, your best mate for Fantasy Premier League content for the 2022-23 season. My name is Dan. Good morning. We are slightly earlier than usual today. I was just a little bit bored. I thought, you know what? I'm ready to start the stream. Usually we go live like 1 hour before deadline, and people always complain that I'm late because I'm always like 5 minutes after, like 1 hour after before the deadline, if that makes any sense. But today we're slightly early, so I thought, you know, well, let's get the party started. Let's get going. I'm very excited for another game week. I'm very excited for last game week to be over and to start a nice, fresh, new, lovely, new, fresh game week. I'm looking forward to that. I hope you guys are looking forward to it as well. Let's say hello to the members. Any members in the chat today? Let's scroll up and have a look through the chat. Dan Cross is here. Welcome back. Our moderator supreme, Dan Cross, is here. Johnny Rock, what's up, my friend? K-Matt, Joshy Boy, throwing out the blackcurrant squash emojis. Yes, we are on the blackcurrant squash as always, as we are every deadline stream. It's essential. It's an essential part of the deadline. You've got to have a blackcurrant squash, and I'm using one of my favourite glasses actually. Definitely did not steal this. It's an Orchard Thieves glass. Very nice indeed. Very nice indeed. We are of course wearing the Forest Green Rovers away shirt from this season today. I think it's one of the shirts of the season. I'm not going to lie, in English football, I think this is one of the shirts of the season. I've got another one that I think is the shirt of the season, ordered. It's on its way. So please, put super chats in so I can buy more football shirts, because apparently that's what I do now. I just buy football shirts. This is just what we do. We buy football shirts and we play FPL. But yes, guys, what you see in front of you may or may not be my final Game Week 2 team. We're not gonna try and trick anyone or anything like that. But I mean, you know, this is what my team looked like last night. Maybe it's changed, maybe it hasn't. But here, guys, today I'm gonna try and help you guys out. So forget about my team for a minute. And let's focus on your teams and trying to get you some good ranks. Martin in the chat says, "Is it Norwich's third kit for the kit of the season? In my opinion, or shirt of the season, it might be. It might be on its way. I'm never going to financially recover from this. Yeah, guys, today we've also got the return of the bench list. Now, those of you guys who have been around here for a while will know all about the bench list. But if you're new around here, this is your first season watching FPL Mate, then you are in for a treat. The bench list is a revolutionary. It's absolutely revolutionary when it comes to helping you guys to decide who to bench and who to play in your own FPL team. So there you go. There you go. I think that's going to be an interesting one. Should we bang it out early? Should we bang out the bench list early and start getting some players on there, get you guys kind of acquainted to what the bench list is? Some of you guys may have seen it before, some of you guys may not have seen it, but it was a real favourite. It was a real favourite of the deadline streams, which I thought, let's bring it back. Let's bring it back. Brian Chan says, where is the FPL Mate versus AI team? Yeah, I didn't know whether to do something like that or not. The AI team, by the way, guys, if you guys used my artificial intelligence team that I made a video about a couple of weeks ago. Didn't it get something like 79 points in Gameweek 1? It absolutely smashed Gameweek 1. So, yeah, definitely worth checking out the AI team. I'll show you my team and what the AI thinks of the team that you see in front of you right now. I'll just very quickly. The AI likes it. I mean, the AI says it's a 95% rated team and it's going to get 63.6 points. So I wonder if that can be improved upon. You'd probably say it possibly could, but the AI, it likes my team. It really likes my team. And it's expecting it to get big points over the next few game weeks, like especially game week 4, 75.7. The AI rates it. Of course, if you want to check this out. Have I got a link in the description of this stream for this tool? I think I do. It's somewhere. It's somewhere on the Fantasy Football Hub website, basically. We've got FPL Rev, of course, in here as well. Hello, Mikey. How you doing, mate? Let's get straight to. Let's get straight to the bench list today. I think we go straight to the bench list. We'll start adding some players. You early birds can add some players to the bench list. We'll do it together, and then we'll revisit it later on in the stream. I think we'll keep going back to it. Don't worry. So, for those of you who haven't seen this before, let me introduce you to the bench list. This season, it doesn't fit on my screen because I didn't think about this before I started the stream, basically. Usually this fits very snugly on stream, but today it's kind of a little bit wonky. FPL Worldwide says, love the FPL content, mate. Thank you so much, Mr. Worldwide. I really do appreciate that. And hopefully you appreciate the bench list. So let me explain to you guys how the bench list works. I'm sure I'll have to explain this at least 1 or 2 more times before the end of the stream, but we'll try it. We'll try it now anyway. So the bench list is basically a list of players in order of whether you should play them or not. So I'm imagining a lot of you guys have some of these players on the bench list. We will add more players to this list as well. And basically, what we kind of have here is a way of answering loads of questions at one point. Because, you know, a lot of people are going to say, should I play Bailey or should I play Pereira, for example? So you might have that dilemma. Should I play Bailey or should I play Pereira? Now, the bench list is a great list because the higher a player is on the list, the more I think you should play them. Now, this is just my opinion. It's often done on the fly and it's pretty rough. So if 2 players are close on the bench list, then there's probably a dilemma to be had there. But if you've got like a Neto and a Nico Williams, for example, you've got those 2 players and you can't decide which of those 2 players that you're going to play, the answer from me to you is play Neto. That's what the bench list is for. The higher a player is up on this list, the more you should play them, the more you should prioritise putting them in your starting 11. And the lower a player is on this list, the less priority you should put into playing them. So you put them last on your bench, for example, or lower down on your bench. So yeah, let's add some players just to kind of give an example. So if you've got Archer, I know a lot of you guys have got the 4.5 million forward Archer. I would put him here, so he'd be right at the bottom. He'd be below the likes of Nico Williams. If you've got Sam Greenwood, I'll put him here. So you should play him probably slightly as more of a priority than Archer, but still pretty low priority there. So that's kind of how it works. I've already got, I put Pereira. I should probably put Andreas on there so people know who I'm talking about. So yeah, that's how it works. If you've got any suggestions of what players you're kind of can't decide whether to play them or bench them, then they go on the list. Players like Salah don't go on the bench list, because if you have a Salah, just play him. If you have a Haaland or a Cancelo or a Trent Alexander-Arnold, just play him. So those players like that, they don't go on the bench list, because there should be no debate there whatsoever. We've got a super chat from Baller W11 Edits. He says, "Hey Dan, Captain Salah or Haaland?" I think the popular choice will be Haaland this week, if I'm completely honest. So if in doubt, go for Haaland over Salah. That's the safe pick. But if you do really have faith in Salah, then there's no reason not to go for him over Haaland. I think that both of those two players are the biggest and best captain options for the game week. And maybe third place is maybe Cancelo. Or, maybe De Bruyne, if you fancy De Bruyne as well. But yeah, certainly Haaland is going to be the safe pick for captaincy. Salah is the slightly riskier pick, and then anyone outside of that is a real risk. So stick with one of the two. Haaland is the one I would go for. Right, so people are saying some players here that are, you just should not bench whatsoever. Like players like Trippier or Cash, or like players like that. Just play them. Like your big players, like Mason Mount, just play them. So all of your big players, we're really talking here about the cheaper rotation type players, with some exceptions. Like Perisic is an exception because he's got a bad fixture and we're not 100% sure if he's going to start or not. But, I've seen Trippier and Cash. You just play these players. You don't even think about benching them. Almiron, I know a few people have Almiron. Let me just remind myself quickly who Almiron actually plays this week. It is Brighton away. So that's not an ideal fixture. So on the bench list, I would maybe put him, maybe put Almiron like here. Have I spelled that right? Yes, I have. You know what? It doesn't look right because it hasn't got the funny O. There we go. So yeah, Almiron will go somewhere like that. I think that would work. Put Kieran Dewsbury-Hall on there. He plays against Arsenal, of course, away. Dewsbury-Hall, Shrewsbury-Drewsbury, as the Mrs. FPL Mate fans would say. Where would I put Dewsbury-Hall? So I wouldn't put him too high, if I'm honest. I think I would put him somewhere in the region of... what have I done? Somewhere in the region of Andreas and Perisic, I think. It is a tough fixture. I think I would slightly prefer him to Perisic. So let's put Dewsbury-Hall in there. But I think I would prefer Andreas to Dewsbury-Hall on this game week, I think. A few people asking for Rashford. All right. Let's just put him... he's playing against Brentford away. Let's just put him, at the top. Close to the top. I think you should still play him. I don't think I would be benching Rashford quite yet. I think it seems a little bit premature to be benching Rashford. So I'm going to put him just after Neto. So yeah. Zdenek, thank you very much for becoming a member of the channel. I really appreciate that. Of course, throw those emojis in the chat. You love to see it. You love to see the member emojis. Nick Giordano says, I play Bailey over Trippier all day this week. Really? Why? Brighton is a good fixture if you're looking for clean sheets. So I would put Trippier right at the top. I would put him ahead of anyone. In fact, I am going to put Trippier ahead of anyone. I'm going to put him right at the top. I said I wouldn't put players like that in, but if a lot of you guys are really having that question mark, then fine, we can put him in. We can put him in. Someone says bench a 120 million player. Yeah, it couldn't be me. Couldn't be me. So there we go. Cucurella. Yeah, a few people have got Cucurella for some reason. Yeah, I don't think I'd be prioritising him too highly, to be honest. I don't even really know. I mean, usually when we're talking attackers versus defenders, usually the rule of thumb is, back the attacker, because a defender, they lose their clean sheet and they're pretty much mudded for points, whereas an attacker is good for points at any point in the game as long as they're on the pitch, if they get that goal or assist. So I wouldn't put him too high, but I feel like you still got to kind of think about playing him. He should start to come into the first 11 for Chelsea now, right? You got to think about it. Reece James. Reece James isn't good. If you have Reece James, you play him. Haroon says, hi, would you have Son/Haaland or KDB/Haaland? For the long term, probably Son and Haaland. But this game week, I think De Bruyne will outscore Son, probably. But, you know, FPL is not played in individual game weeks. It's played over a long period of time. The game weeks are just there to confuse us. Archer's already on the list there. You can see him. Would I play Bailey over James? I don't know. I think you should just play. James, to be honest. Like, because he's pretty nailed on. He's good for attacking returns. I think if our Chelsea typically play well against Spurs. Spurs don't have a great record against Chelsea going, last few seasons. I mean, yeah, mostly. Yeah, that's mostly true. Particularly as it's an away game as well. So I don't know. Aronson, who do Leeds play again? I don't want to make a fool out of myself. They play Southampton. No, you play Aronson. You play him as a pretty high priority, to be honest. You probably put him like near the top. In fact, let's put Aronson at the top. Is it Aronson or Aronson? I can never remember with these certain players. Let's have a look. I need to make sure we get these spellings right. Aronson. There we go. Perisic will start with Chelsea. I don't know if Perisic is going to start or not, to be honest. It's a bit of a risky one, isn't it? Andreas or James? All right, okay. People are still asking about Reece James, so I'm going to put him straight at the top. Like, this is what I always don't like to do. I don't like to waste space on the bench list, because you can see the bench list is already running out of space a little bit. Zinchenko is not going on there. There's no way. If you have Zinchenko playing him, I have to draw the line somewhere, and I'm drawing the line at Zinchenko. Gregory says, Archer versus Everton really worse than Williams versus West Ham. Well, yeah, because Archer's not going to start. He's probably going to get you a 1-pointer, isn't he? So you can have, he may not even get, he may get a 0-pointer. He's a 0 or a 1-point player at the moment. It's not just about the fixture. It's about how likely the player is to play, and if they are going to play, how likely are they to have an impact. Kyle Walker is not going on the bench list at all, because if you have him, you play him. Like, who is doubting playing Kyle Walker, man? Like, come on. Mahrez! You guys are considering benching Mahrez and Mount. You guys are crazy. They're not going on the bench list. Play these players. Play these players. Play these players. Matty Cash. Oh, all right. There's been a few Cash shouts. So, all right. I feel like you do play Cash. Playing against Everton is a good fixture. Yeah. I'd probably put him like there. I mean, maybe even higher, to be honest, because it's difficult. Because is Calvert-Lewin back for Everton yet? I don't think so. They did look a bit toothless up front, Everton, in the opening game. I know that's just one game. I do think Everton will do a little bit better than people are thinking they will over the course of the season. But right now, if you have Cash and you haven't sold him yet, you probably play him for this fixture. And then after this fixture is where you start questioning it a little bit. So let's put Cash. Let's put Cash here. All right, there we go. Cash is on. Cash is on. Andreas instead of Almiron. Yeah. I mean, we've got Andreas on the bench list here already. I've got Almiron slightly lower. So, yeah, I think you should play Andreas over Almiron. Kind of like him. I think I slightly prefer Bailey to Almiron still, though. Slightly prefer him. There's not much in it. Like, I'm not going to lie. But I do slightly prefer going for Bailey over Almiron. Baller's coming back with another super chat who says, should I use the wildcard to have roughly the same team as you? But no, in that case, definitely not. I'm not even thinking about wildcarding. Like, fair enough. Like, yes, there are some players I would like to have, but you can't have the perfect team every game week. We only get one wildcard before the international break. We should probably try and hold off, unless our team is literally terrible. My team, I don't believe, is terrible. It's not all about points. Like, look at this team, man. Like, it is not bad. It's good. It's objectively good. We've got some really good players in here. who could get some good points in some good fixtures as well. Really good fixtures. The only player that's missing from this team is Haaland, in my opinion. Everything else I like about it. It's not just about how many points you get, it's how much you like your team, and I still like my team. I think the time to use your wild card is the point where you just look at your team and you hate so much about it. D Moore says, is Bailey a doubt for today, or is that a rumour? No, Bailey's looking actually really good. There was a few predictions from Aston Villa fans saying that Bailey might not start. But that was just predictions. Since then, we've had the Steven Gerrard press conference. In the press conference, Gerrard spoke very, very highly of Bailey, really very highly. Which is, when a manager singles out a player and praises them, it's usually a good indication that they're going to start. And we're expecting good things from him. Apparently, he's been doing very well in training. Apparently, he was the star of the preseason. We kind of know that already. And Gerrard is definitely not letting one game distract us from that. And for the record, I actually think Bailey was arguably Villa's best player in that opening game. If someone's going to get dropped, I don't think it's going to be Bailey. Now, the only thing that may change that is if Aston Villa do have a change of system and play with a slightly narrower formation, in which case, where does Bailey play? I mean, potentially as a forward, but I don't know. I wouldn't want to bet on that. Darshan says, priced out of Haaland, any way of getting 0.2? There's loads of ways of getting 0.2. Downgrade another player. Think of players that you don't want long term. So, for example, in my team, if I was to downgrade a player, maybe I'd downgrade Bailey to a 4.5 and just play Andreas. Or maybe I would downgrade Neto. Maybe I'd downgrade Saka to Martinelli. Maybe I could even downgrade Reece James to Kyle Walker or someone like that. There is loads and loads of options. Maybe Zinchenko. Yeah, there's always a way of getting a little... If you are really desperate for a player and you really want to take that -4 and you really just need to find the money, there's usually a way of doing it. And the priority really is to remove a player who you probably would be thinking about removing fairly soon anyway. So you kind of try and make a 2 transfers that improve your team, or 2 transfers that improve your the economy of your team as well. That's also an important thing. And, having your budget in the right place. Let's put the bench list back on screen. Will Mahrez start? If I had the answer to if Man City players will start or not, I'd be a very rich man indeed. Dev, thank you for the super sticker. I think we've got a couple of new members as well. We've got a couple of super chats and a couple of new members. So, Bapos, thank you very much for becoming a member of the channel. Throw out some black and squash emojis for me, and the same with Renegade Red Squirrel. Renegade Red Squirrel, love that name. Absolutely love it. Let's have a look at some of these other super chats here. So we've got one from Tenzing who says, swap Kane for Haaland if you have 0.5 million. Yep, I think I would probably do that. If you got money in the bank, Kane for Haaland seems like a sensible transfer. Hasir says, am I mental for keeping Kane even though I've got 0.5 in the bank for Haaland transfer? I've got Cancelo and Grealish. No, I don't think you're mental at all. I think there's worse things to do. For example, game week 3, when Spurs play. Spurs play Wolves, I believe, and then is it Nottingham Forest? Maybe something like that. Yeah, it is. So game week 3, Kane plays against Wolves. Game week 4, Kane plays against Nottingham Forest away. Those are really nice fixtures. So look, and we've got Fulham in game week 6 as well. West Ham, which is always usually a high-scoring game between these two teams. So, is Haaland a better pick for this game week? Of course he is. But looking over a sort of 5-game week period, there are a lot of opportunities for some points from Harry Kane. So, no, it's not crazy to stick with Kane. I'm not saying that's the right thing to do, but I don't think it's a crazy thing to do, because I think, if you're looking a little bit further into the future and focusing on future game weeks, there are some points up for grabs there. So, yeah, I wouldn't stress too much, my friend. It's up to you at the end of the day. Matthew C says, who should I bench, Neto, Johnny, or Andreas? Okay, well, we just need to refer to the bench list for this one. All we need to do is add Johnny, right? Johnny plays against Fulham at home. Oh, that's a good fixture. All right, where are we going to put Johnny? I think I'd put him... Thing is, I'm not so convinced with, I'm not so convinced with Wolves' defence. They've lost Connor Cody, obviously, and they're going for a back four. They just look a little bit like they might be weaker in defence this season, which is a little bit of a shame if you went on Johnny early. I think you'd have to put him, you wouldn't put him too high. You'd probably back a couple of attackers over him. Maybe in this sort of region. Because at least you know you're going to get a start out of him, unlike Cucurella. He's got an easier fixture than Cucurella as well. So yeah, okay, there you go, Matthew. That is your answer. So, Neto, Johnny and Andreas are all on the bench list right now. Johnny is the lowest player on the bench list. Therefore, he should be the one to bench. Hopefully that helps. Okay, what else have we got here? We've got a few more super chats. Haroon says Ben White ahead of Bailey this game week. Who would I play? Ben White or Bailey? That's a good question. A very good question. No. I would play Bailey over Ben White. There you go. Modge, thank you very much for becoming a member of the channel. Nice to have you here. Nice to have everyone new here. Darshan says, expected points for Son/KDB the next 4 game weeks. Keep Son or get KDB in. Let's have a look at, let's see what Hub is saying on this one. Let's go to the player comparison tool. We want De Bruyne versus Son, right? De Bruyne versus Son. And we want expected points. Predictions by game week. Okay, so we'll put per appearance. I don't think that's making any difference, to be fair. Okay, so so this is calculating it between game week 2 and 9. I don't know if that's the kind of you want 4 game weeks really. Okay, so over the next 4 game weeks. So this game week 2. We're predicting 8.3 from De Bruyne and 4 points from Son. This is all AI generated, of course. Then the next 2 game weeks after that, Son beats De Bruyne apparently. 7 points there, 7.7 points there to De Bruyne's 6 and 5.8. So, yeah, then it swings back in De Bruyne's favour. So if we're looking 4 game weeks, I think that puts De Bruyne ahead. Let me just work this out quickly. 16, 22, 28. So 28 points predicted, roughly, for De Bruyne. And for Son, it's 11, 19, 25. So it's very close, to be fair. It's very close. But De Bruyne edges it. Over the next 4 game weeks for predicted points, De Bruyne edges it. If you take it 1 game week later to game week 6, then it swings back in Son's favour because he's predicted 9 points in game week 6. So, yeah, there's something to consider. If you're looking at 4 game weeks, it's De Bruyne. If you're looking at 5 game weeks, then it's Son. I think, if it's a case of making a transfer or not, if you're not going to captain De Bruyne this game week, I'll probably stick with Son. So the answer probably is if you've got De Bruyne or if you've got Son, probably stick with whoever you've got unless you're planning on captaining one of them this game week. It is probably what I would say. Or captaining one of them in any game week, really. That may swing your decision a little bit. So, yeah. Dino on the bench list. Okay, let's just stick him right next to Cash because I think they're much of a muchness. So there we go. But yeah, as always, guys, if you want to check out the Fantasy Football Hub tools, there is a link to that in my description, and you get 50% off still for another week. We've got one more week of 50% off, and then it's back to another less discount. I think it's 20% off after that using my link. But for now, you can get 50% off, which is pretty crazy. And you can make any comparisons you like. It is quite useful, isn't it? It is quite useful. Hazard with a super sticker there. Melengi, thank you very much for becoming a member of the channel. Hazard G with a super chat. If I can find it, I will try and I'm trying to catch up with these super chats. What are your thoughts on Undav now? Yeah, definitely a wait and see at this point. I think the hype train died out pretty quickly, didn't it, over the preseason? Yeah, definitely a wait and see. It'll be interesting to see when Brighton's fixtures get a little bit better. They have a really nice fixture swing in like 1 or 2 game weeks time. And when that swing happens, you know, we're going to be keeping an eye on those Brighton assets. But, you know, Welbeck, good start from him. So yeah, it might be difficult to displace him. Andrew says, he's given me his whole team. Ward, Trent, Walker, Diaz, Trippier, Salah, Saka, Martinelli, Neto, Haaland, captain, Darwin. How does it sound? It sounds very good, Andrew. It looks like you are set. It looks like you're ready to go, my friend. Heat Lifer, nice to see you back in the chat. Is it worth going -4 to go from Jesus, Kane to Tony, Haaland, or wildcard for 5 changes? I wouldn't wildcard for 5 changes, no. I'd need a few more changes than that. And we haven't got enough data, like... for a wild card, do we really have enough data to be making a major FPL decision like a wild card? It seems like a lot. It really does seem like a lot. No, I don't think we need to wild card on that. I'd like to keep Jesus as well. Jesus is a good player. I think he'll do well against Leicester. I think he'll do well. So no, I don't really like that -4, to be honest, Heat Lifer. I don't really like that -4, to be honest. If there's another way of doing it, another -4 you could take, then maybe, but not that one. Kaizo says, expected points, Haaland versus Salah. Better captain. Oh, all right. All right, shall we have a look? Shall we have a cheeky butcher's hook? I think we should. I mean, I can tell you already that Haaland's expected points are better than Salah's for this game week. Over the slightly longer term, I don't think that is the case. Let's just refresh this. I think I've broken it. Or is it just lagging? Please stop lagging. I think I've broken it. Let me see Haaland. Or is it spelled differently? Is this one working? Has it got one L? For some reason, it's not putting Haaland in. But I know his predicted points are high. This is a great advert, isn't it? Come on. Like, if I put Man City, will it come up with all Man City players? No. Why isn't Haaland on the player comparison tool yet? Maybe they just haven't added him in yet because he's a new player to the Premier League. Not sure. But I think, if we just go on points predictions and then just go expensive players, you should say. In fact, let's just go points predictions. Who's the highest expected points for all players in game week 2? There we go. So, yeah, this is actually a better way of doing it anyway. So, this game week, Haaland is predicted 8.5 points. That's pretty big. De Bruyne is second with 8.3, then Foden was 7.1, Cancelo was 6.4, which means Salah, according to artificial intelligence, Salah is actually the 5th best captain option. But, I mean, we know Salah is a magic man, don't we? And we know he produces out of nowhere. So, yeah, 6.3 predicted points for Salah, 8.5 predicted points for Haaland. I think most people would probably agree that Haaland is the better captain for game week 2. There you go. And it shows you how many expected goals and expected assists and stuff are there as well. So, hopefully that helps you a little bit make your decision. Point predictions, I think are really useful, but I guess you just have to kind of use them within the right context, if that makes sense. Nick Giordiano, nice to see you back as well, Nick. What are your early guesses when your wild card rank the game weeks? I mean, Christ. Game week 6, somewhere between game week 6 and 8, I would say, as well, when I will probably wild card. I think that's a good time. But you never know. I'm not booking it in. I'm not planning it in quite yet. Ross Wheeler says, I've got Kane and Son, no money in the bank. Do I take a -4 for Haaland or stick with these? Sorry if you've spoken about this. I've just joined. No problem at all, Ross. And thank you very much for the super chat. Difficult question. I would argue, I think there's a good reason to take a -4 for Haaland. I think there's good reason. If you're going to, it sounds like if you haven't got Salah, if you've got Kane and Son, you might not have Salah. And if you don't have Salah, then you don't have an alternate captain option. So if you haven't got Salah, then I would do this transfer move, just so you've got a captain for this game week. If you have got Salah, then that's more of a tricky question. And maybe I would consider not doing it. But it depends. If there's players like in other areas of your team that you'd be willing to sacrifice, and you're planning on removing soon anyway, then maybe taking a -4 and removing one of them and dealing with that one game week early might not be the worst idea in the world. Just taking that -4. Heat Lifer with another super chat. Welcome back for another FPL season. Big fan of the no-show on the weekly transfers. The new show on the weekly transfers. Oh, thank you very much, Heat Lifer. I appreciate that, man. Congratulations on the growth of the channel. FPL Mate to the moon. Let's go, baby. Thank you very much, Heat Lifer. You're an absolute legend and a don. Type Erling. Yeah, I could have typed Erling, couldn't I, on the player comparison. Oh, yeah. Why didn't I think of that? Renegade Red Squirrel says, really good shout on Patterson pre-season. Thanks for that. No problem at all. Yeah, I think he was a pretty good player. Did well pre-season. Yeah, I'm hoping he keeps his place ahead of Coleman. Kane versus Haaland over the next 4. Did we do this? Let's try the play. Let's try putting in Erling in the play comparison tool. Aha! Yes. Oh right. It's because it's got the funny A. It's the funny A. I don't even know where that is on my keyboard. I'm guessing it's some kind of alt thing, but I don't know what button it is. Okay, so Haaland versus Harry Kane, and we want to go for predictions by game week per appearance, and it looks like Haaland is obviously better for game week 2. Then it swings back in Kane's favour in game week 3 and 4. Then back in Haaland's favour in game week, 5? And then back in Kane, yeah. So this pretty much the same situation with De Bruyne versus Son. Whereas Haaland is better, the City player this game week, the Spurs players the next 2 weeks after that. So yeah, like if you were to make the switch to Haaland now, you would get better points from him probably this game week. After that, it looks like Kane is slightly favoured. And one thing to note actually, and I don't think I've mentioned before, is something kind of interesting, which I think damages the longer term view of Haaland. So obviously we think he's going to rotate a little bit when Champions League comes about, but that's quite far in the future. We don't need to worry about that too much yet. But there is a Tuesday game. So obviously game week 4, Man City play against Crystal Palace at home. Then game week 5, so it goes from the Saturday to the Wednesday. That's when Man City play Nottingham Forest. And then game week 6, again, a few days after that, Saturday, Man City play Aston Villa. So I wouldn't be entirely surprised if one time between game week 4 and game week 6, we might see a Haaland benching. Just one of those games out of the 3. He'll play like all of the other games, don't get me wrong. But certainly pre-Champions League, that is the one danger area. It might not happen. But that's the one danger area. So yeah, just a consideration when we're looking at the head-to-head Haaland versus Kane over the between game week 4 and 6. It may be irrelevant because we may see some reduction of some minutes there at some point. Or even if he doesn't start, he may play 60 minutes, which you want 70, 80 really, don't you, from a top player, particularly if you're going to captain them. So yeah, that's the small risk, but it's a very small risk. And in all likeliness, he plays all of those games. I just wanted to highlight that as a consideration for those of you guys moving from Haaland to Kane now. Or, if you're planning on doing it next game week, for example, it's just something to consider, I think. But it could be fine. It could be absolutely fine. Should we go back to the bench list? Any more players you'd like us to add to the bench list? We've still got plenty of time. We've got plenty of time. Tell me who you want me to put on there, and we'll try and answer some. Let's answer some members' chats here. Bapple says, if Haaland puts another good performance, is there a chance of Kane dropping to 11.3 before even playing tomorrow? Yes, of course, there's always a chance. Yep, there is always a chance. And you expect him to be honest. You expect Haaland. But I think it would be... I think if you're going to get Haaland, get him now, is what I would say. If you're going to wait till next game week, that is going to be too late at that point. So if you're going to get him now. you can't really wait till next game week because Kane's going to have these much better fixtures, well, slightly better fixtures, and be now more nailed on as the fixture congestion gets a little bit more severe. So if you're doing it, do it now. Of course, says hi Dan, Grealish up or down? Grealish up or down? I mean, you definitely keep him for this game week, don't you? Against Bournemouth, it's a great fixture. Jandre says play Dunk or Patterson. Dunk, Brighton play against, is it Newcastle they play? I think it is. Yes. Ooh, okay. Let's add Dunk to the bench list then. It's a reasonably good fixture. I think I will probably back some of the attackers over him though. Let's put him around there. There you go. So he goes above Patterson at least. Dallo. Ooh. Are we really thinking about benching Dallo already? Play against Brentford later on this evening. I think Dallo had a couple of really good chances to score. He was kind of unlucky in a way that he didn't get more FPL points. So yeah, I'd maybe be looking to. I'd maybe be looking to keep Dallo, to be honest. I'll maybe be looking to keep him. Yeah. Yeah, I'll be looking to play Dallo, I think. How high would he go on the bench list? I think I put him ahead of Rashford. Yeah, I think I put him like there. Although their defence was so bad, though, wasn't it? No, okay. I'm gonna put him there. I'm gonna put him there. There you go. Dallo on the bench list. Put Walker on the list. No, I will not. If you have Walker, you play him. Don't you dare think about not playing him. Podence. Do people have Podence? He's a little bit more risky, isn't he? Play Callum Wilson. Play Callum Wilson. Hi, mate. Would you do Dina to Walker or roll? I think I would roll that one. Is Nick Pope starting? Apparently not. We've got no news on whether Bailey's going to start or not. I mean, we can keep an eye on Twitter to see if there's any early team news, but you know, I've not heard anything yet. Yep, it doesn't look like there's any Bailey news yet, but that could still come in. But I would predict, if I was to guess right now, I would say that he will start. You know, like I was sort of saying earlier on in the stream, Gerard was just speaking so highly of him that it just makes sense. Those of you guys who are like wondering, you know, who should I play, who should I bench? This is what this bench list is for. You may be, if you're new to the stream or just joining in now, yeah, the bench list is designed to try and help you out a little bit on who you should play and who you should bench. So I don't have to answer all these benching dilemma questions, and hopefully it could just help you all out in one go. So yeah, basically on this list, if a player is high on the list, you should prioritise playing them. If they're low on the list, you should prioritise benching them, I guess. So for example, if you have two players that are on this list, you say, I can't decide who to play. I can't decide whether to play Reece James or Perisic. Well, you can see that Perisic is lower down on the bench list and Reece James is higher on the bench list. Therefore, play Reece James. If two players are close, you know, like a Rashford and a Bailey, for example, then that's a little bit more difficult. You know, I can't really guarantee you results, but if there's a significant difference between the two, or if you just want someone else to make the decision for you because you just don't want to think about it, then just play the player that is higher on the bench list and bench the player who is lower on the bench list, and just do a no-brainer kind of move. So yeah, hopefully that's going to help so much, so much. Like, but players like who are obviously good players, like any player who is above 6 million, any player who is above 6 million, play them. Maybe it's 6.5, depending on the position. You know, all defenders above 6 million, just play them. Any midfielders above 7 million, just play them. The reason why they're priced at that point is because they can score against anyone. You know, a Mason Mount can easily do the business against Spurs. You know, who else has got a difficult fixture? I think that's the only difficult fixture this game week, to be fair. But yeah, no, a Kulusevski, for example, can do really well even in a difficult fixture, so you don't bench them. So Mason Mount, I mean, he's been... All right. People are asking about Mason Mount on the bench list, so I hate that I hate that I have to say this. I hate that I have to spell this out. But yeah, you obviously play Mason Mount every game week. You don't get an 8 million player in your FPL team and then bench him. If you're going to bench an 8 million player in your team, don't have him. If you're thinking about benching him because you hate him that much, sell him. Because you cannot be benching 8 million worth of your budget. That's such a large amount of your budget to be benching. It's pretty wild. Doherty on the bench list. He's a little higher. He's a little bit more fit than he was. I don't think many people have him though, to be honest. Jandre says, if Dewsbury Hall scores this week, I'm following Mrs. FPL, mate. Yeah, don't blame me. She already made a transfer, by the way, guys. Shall I kind of try and find her team, and then we can... Let's try and find her team, and I'll get you guys to... I'll get you guys to... Where is she? She should be near me. There she is. Morgan's meme team. So she still hasn't changed it to Lost Her Cheek. But this is Mrs. FPL Mate's team. Now, looking at this team, like, she didn't ask for advice at all. She did it all off her own back. If you look at this team, what player do you think she took out of these players? I want you guys to try and predict. One of you guys will get the transfer that she made spot on. Apparently she... Okay. It's like the most casual noob transfer in the world. It's the exact kind of transfer someone would make if they didn't really know FPL very well, which is why I just think she's fantastic, and I can't wait to see how well she does this season. It's incredible. It's incredible. Baller with another super chat. I brought in Zinchenko for Perisic. Thoughts? Yeah, it's not bad. It's not a bad transfer. It's not a bad transfer. Don't love it. Don't hate it. It's just a not bad transfer. I probably would have held, to be honest, but you know, it could go really well for you. You know, if Zinchenko plays, obviously, and Arsenal get a clean sheet, you're going to be pretty happy, right? Young Mind, thank you very much for becoming a member of the channel. I really appreciate that, my friend. All right, let's see if any of you guys can guess who has been removed. All right, some of you people saying that she's removed Kane. She loves Harry Kane, so she wouldn't do that. But Kane scored 2 points, so obviously Kane is a better player than some of the players who only scored 1 point, right? So that's the first bit of logic. The first bit of logic is you remove. If you don't know FPL very well, the first bit of logic you do is who scored the least amount of points this week, and that narrows us down to Alexander-Arnold, Van Dijk, Cash, and Watkins. The next thing you look at is, who do I know much about? Well, I know Alexander-Arnold, I know Van Dijk, I've heard of these players, they must be quite good, so I'll ignore the fact they got 1 point, which kind of leaves us with Matty Cash and Ollie Watkins, because, you know, they're lesser known players and they scored 1 point, so they must be bad players, they must be bad picks, they have to be sold. The next bit of logic, and I love this thought process that some people go for, is, okay, you know, well, specifically with Mrs. FPL Mate, she doesn't look at why they got 1 point. She didn't look at the fact that Watkins was benched. That didn't factor in at all. She knows Ollie Watkins. She likes Ollie Watkins' name. Another great way of picking players when you don't know about football. Ollie Watkins, what a hilarious name. It sounds so nice. It rolls off the tongue. Ollie Watkins, Ollie Watkins, Ollie Watkins. It's fantastic. Matty Cash, yeah, not a bad name, but he got 1 point. I've never heard of him before. His name's a bit boring. Let's transfer him out. So that was the first bit of logic. Now, if you're transferring out Matty Cash, how do you choose who? If you don't know FPL, how do you choose who to bring in? Well, all right, we need a defender. Who scored the most points last? Fabian Schär. He scored loads of points last week. It's 15 points he scored last week. I bet he's going to score that every week. So, easy transfer. The most predictable casual player transfer in the world. You take out the player that scored the least amount of points in your team and you replace them with the player who happened to score the most points last week. And there's no more thought process that goes into it at all other than that. So, yes, my darling wife, in all of her wisdom, decided to swap Matty Cash to Fabian Schär. Just because Cash didn't score many points and Schär did score lots of points. So that must be a good transfer. I actually, like, I remember playing FPL like that, and it was just more fun. It's just fun. Like, it's just a fun way of playing FPL. I envy it in a way. People saying that's not a bad transfer in the chat. You are crazy. You are crazy. I imagine a few of you guys did that exact transfer. You guys will not be piping up in the chat now after I've given that rinsing, but but yeah, team misses FPL, mate. I mean, if it pays off for her, then fair enough. Let's see what happens. But Schär, look at the fixtures, man. Got Liverpool and City in the next 4. City in 3, Liverpool in 5. She's done a madness. She's done an absolute madness, but fair play. Fair play. Benchless has come back. Benchless is back. People are asking again. If you're asking who should I play out of this player and that player, then refer to the bench list. Refer to the bench list. Ahmed, thank you very much. Keep up the good work. Thank you so much. The really generous super chat. I really appreciate that, my friend. And I will try and keep up the good work. I'll do my best. But I feel like Mrs. FPL Mate's probably going to mud me by the end. I wonder if she's watching the stream. She might be. She's at work at the moment. She's texting me as well. All right. All right. Let me read out the text from Mrs. FPL Mate, and maybe we can help her. She said, "Shall I put Loftus-Cheek in my team and bench Watkins? I've benched Silva and put Cresswell on." Okay. Let's remind myself what her team actually looks like. So yeah, you probably play Cresswell this game, wouldn't you, against Nottingham Forest? So yeah, play Cresswell, Mrs. FPL Mate. Loftus-Cheek, leave Loftus-Cheek on the bench. She's benched Thiago Silva. That's a good question, actually. Let's help me out. Let's give Mrs. FPL Mate a bit of advice. Who would you play out of Thiago Silva and who else was it? And Ollie Watkins. Play one, bench one. Thiago Silva and Ollie Watkins. Let me just say, definitely keep Loftus-Cheek on the bench. And but then it's a question of Watkins versus Silva. Definitely play Cresswell. I think that's good advice. Play people saying, oh, we're split here. Some people saying play Silva, some play. I think we're saying play Watkins. Yeah, okay. I think you've got it. I think she's got it. So play Watkins. All right, fine. I'll tell her that. I'll remind her to do her captain as well. Make sure you pick your captain. I don't know who she's going to captain because, looking at this team, who do you captain in this team? Maybe Alexander-Arnold. I don't know who I would captain in this team, to be honest. Probably Alexander-Arnold. Captain one of Alexander-Arnold. Or maybe Foden. Foden's a bit risky, isn't it? Maybe Saka? Other players, you're not going to captain Son or Kane against Chelsea, are you? So captain one of Alexander-Arnold, Foden, in brackets, very risky, or Saka. And I'll let her make that final decision because I don't want to do her team for her. Right, back to the chat. Josh McJury, thank you very much for the super chat. Says, tell her to look at the bench list. Yeah, I know, that would help. Yeah, she's at work at the moment, so unfortunately she can't do that. Mickey says, good luck for the sunny season. Come on the Gunners. I see a big win today. Mickey, I couldn't agree with you more, my friend. It's a 3-1 or maybe even a 4-1 romping for the Arsenal today. Yeah, it's a 3 o'clock kickoff. Very annoying that it's not a televised game, but we move. Yeah, that would be a good one. Thank you very much, Mickey. I keep trying to say Mikey. Thank you very much, Mickey, for the super chat. I appreciate that, my friend. And good luck for Arsenal today. I'm hoping for a big one. Let's remove this team from the screen because I don't think anyone wants to see this. I don't want people to look at that team and think it's my team and take advice from it. Oh, she showed me her final team. Okay, it's good. Yeah, she's benching Thiago Silva. Watkins is playing. She's captained Alexander-Arnold already, which is good. You know what? This team is not bad. Can I show you this? I don't know if you guys are going to be able to see that on screen. Can you see that just about? If you're on a big screen, you might be able to see that. The focus is terrible. Yeah, that's not going to work, is it? Yeah, she looks okay. She looks okay. I mean, if Foden pops off, then she's going to be laughing, right? Jake says, why the Forest Green Rovers kit, mate? I just love it. I just love the kit. I love the shirt. FPL is on Sky Sports now. I know, it's crazy. Bapos says, not televised. Here, there are all games on TV, so you can just choose. You know, you're lucky. In the UK, they don't play the 3 o'clock games on TV. Any game that's on 3 o'clock on a Saturday, they can't show the games because it's to encourage people to go to games rather than just sit at home and watch on TV. It's a little bit of an outdated thing, to be honest, with the advent of illegal streams. But there we go. We move. All right. Any chance for a few more players on the bench list before we close that off? Barik says, "Please can I look at your team?" I mean, you can look at. I haven't clicked refresh yet, but this is what my team looked like before any refreshing. Like, I don't want to make any guarantees. This is my final team. If you're looking to copy my team, you are fresh out of luck, I'm afraid. Like I do want to keep re-emphasizing the fact that my team is not FPL advice. It's just what I'm doing with my team. So look, I'm happy to try and give FPL advice. My team is not advice. It's just what I happen to be doing with my team, and I don't want to lead anyone down the wrong paths by doing moves that I'm going for. You know, I like to take a risk. I like to do things a little bit differently sometimes and try and pick a fun pick now and again. And I think I've got to put a line very clearly between what I'm prepared to do with my team and what I'm prepared to advise other people. And I think there is a distinction there. I think there is a distinction that needs to go there. I don't think there's Saliba for the bench list. I think Saliba's points potential is not that high, really, is it? You're looking at a clean sheet at max. So I guess he goes like there. I guess we'll put Ben White there as well. So Saliba and Ben White we'll put there. I mean, maybe he could get some more points. Bonus points. But I would imagine that I think Leicester have got a good chance of scoring against Arsenal, to be honest. Wilson says Son and Kane will explode today. I hope not, because they've got a game on tomorrow. Would you drop Mount for Foden? Probably not. Sessegnon on the bench list? Oh, God, that is risky. Oh, really risky. I don't really know. Bowen next 3, Nottingham Forest away, Brighton at home and Villa away, or Kulusevski with Chelsea away, Wolves at home and Nottingham away. Neither. Yeah, I don't think you need to desperately go for either of those players. Unless you're on a wild card, in which case take your pick. I'll probably go for Bowen. Heat Life, any thoughts to our FPL Mate Discord? We've got Discord. I just don't use it very often. I think there is quite heavily. It's quite well used. There are people who use it regularly. Yeah, if you go in the description of this stream or the description of any one of my videos, there should be a Discord link. in there, which you can go check out. Also, Kane to Haaland, and would you downgrade James to Gabriel for funds to get Haaland for Kane? No, I don't think I would. No, James to Gabriel, I don't think that's going to be over the course of 3 or 4 game weeks, maybe 5 game weeks. I think that double transfer is probably not good unless you're going to captain Haaland. If you're going to captain Haaland this game week, then yeah, take take a hit. If you're going to captain Haaland, take the hit to get him in, I would say. If you're not going to captain him, or you're not bothered about captaining him, then maybe don't take the -4. So I hope that helps. Oh, Captaincy Law is spamming the Discord link in the chat, by the way. So yeah, if you want to join the Discord, the link is in the chat. Do go and check that out. Ash the B says, sorry, but have you talked about Gabriel, Dan? As in Gabriel, as in Arsenal, Gabriel Magalhaes, however you say that. Have I talked about him? A little bit in the past. I think he's one of those players that pops up with FPL points randomly. He'll score randomly from a corner. It could happen today. It could happen last game week. It could happen, against Manchester City in the FA Cup final. It could happen at any point. So yeah, he's unpredictable when it comes to when he's going to get his points. But would I be getting in Gabriel this game week? Probably not, because Leicester, I think, is probably the worst fixture Arsenal have in the upcoming run in terms of defenders. I think next game week is probably a slightly better game week to jump on Arsenal defenders. Either game week 1 or game week 3 look like there's 2 points to jump in on Arsenal defenders. Captain poll. Should we do a captain poll? I think we can do that. All right, who goes in the captain poll? I think Haaland is going to dominate this. Who is your game week 2 captain? We're going to put the poll in now. Obviously, Haaland is going to be like the number 1 choice. We'll put Salah in there. I'll put Cancelo in there as a bonus. All right, who's your game week captain? Haaland, Salah, Cancelo, or other? The question is in the chat now, guys. Do go and answer that poll, and let's see what you guys are saying. Yeah, Haaland, Salah, Cancelo, and I've put other in there as well, obviously, because you never know. But yeah, Haaland is going to be the favourite. I imagine Salah will be second. Cancelo will get like a few percent. Other will get a few percent as well. Jake asking about benching refers to the bench list, my friend. Baller says, should I play triple captain on Haaland? No, save those chips. Save the triple captains for double game weeks, please. Save your triple captains. You will probably. I don't want to say. I don't want to guarantee you'll regret it, but there's a good chance you regret it if you use your triple captain now. There is a good chance that you'll regret it. But look, if you really want to triple captain Haaland this game week, then fine. But it's kind of up to you. All right. Haaland is at 58%. I thought he would be much higher than that, and you know why it is? It's because this is kind of biased towards people who watch this channel, to be fair. Like, a lot of you guys who watch this channel probably bought into that my Kane agenda, my Kane hype. And as such, Haaland is maybe lesser owned among FPL Mate viewers compared to maybe some other channel viewers. So therefore, maybe Haaland is just going to be naturally less popular among FPL Mate viewers, maybe, because of my Kane agenda. But that's still a striking amount on Haaland. It's no surprise Haaland is the most popular captain. He probably is the best captain for this game week. Like, it's between him and Salah. And I do think Haaland does edge it. I don't think there's a huge amount between the two players, if I'm honest. But if I had to captain one of them, if I was on a free hit right now, I'll be captaining Haaland, I think. Jandre says, Dan, something to add to your deadline stream. A countdown clock to deadline. We can easily get carried away here and then miss the deadline. Yeah, I try and remind people of the deadline when it's approaching. But the problem is with that is my stream is like 30 seconds behind. I don't have great internet here, unfortunately. So I'm on like a 30-second delay. So it's kind of difficult to time it right, perfectly right. I don't know how I do that. There's probably a way of doing it, but I'm not sure. Nicola says, hey, Dan, good luck this game week. I'm rolling. Nice one, Nicola. Thank you very much for the super chat, my friend, and good luck this game week. Good luck this game week. But yeah, we've got, what, 10 minutes? By the time my voice reaches your ears, probably got 10 minutes till deadline, so I'm just going to make sure my team is looking good. And let's make sure everything is in place on my FPL teams. I advise you guys to do the same. Check your FPL teams. Make sure your captain's armband is on the right player. Make sure your bench is in the right order. Make sure you haven't accidentally benched the wrong player. Make sure if you've made a transfer, they're starting or playing. Make sure if you're gonna make a transfer, make it now. What are you waiting for? Make your transfer. You got 10 minutes left, for God's sake. Hurry up. You're leaving it last minute. Don't leave it last minute. Make that transfer, buddies. My team is set. I'm good to go. I'm ready. Yep. I'm good to go. I'm good to go. Are you? That's the question. Why are people asking for Zinchenko on the bench list? If you have Zinchenko, obviously you're going to play it. You're not going to bench him, are you? Put him right there. Out of protest, I'm putting him right at the top. I'm putting him right at the top. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. Of course, it's done Grealish in for Eriksen. Yeah, I don't think that's a bad transfer, to be fair. I don't think that's a bad transfer. Do some team reviews on Twitter. I mean, we're leaving it a little bit late to be doing team reviews at this point. Zinchenko's now on the list. People begging to show my team. Why? I'll show you in 10 minutes. I'll show you in 10 minutes. Why do you need to see my team? If you've got a question of what kind of transfer move you would advise for me to make, then I will answer it. I'll be more than happy to answer any FPL related question at all. You don't need to see my team for that. You don't need to see my team for that. This is like the classic. What happens at the end of the stream? There's like the people who are trying to copy week by week. They come into the stream every deadline stream in the last 10 minutes and just spam show your team, show your team, show your team. I know your game. I know what you're up to. You don't watch any videos. You turn up to the stream last minute. Renegade says you need crypto donations so YouTube doesn't take 40%. I don't even know how that works. Can we do crypto donations? Do I want crypto donations? I'm not really a crypto bro, if I'm honest. Let's end that poll, by the way, guys. Haaland 60%, Salah 32%, differential and Cancelo both at 3%. That doesn't add up. No, it does. Well, I don't know how that doesn't add up, but it doesn't. But yeah, Haaland twice as popular as Salah for captaincy. Twice as popular. Those of you guys asking if you should take a -4 for Haaland. If you're gonna captain Haaland, take the -4. If you're not gonna captain him, don't do it. Look at these dudes. Like they come, they turn up like so close to their deadline and just spam it. Like I'm glad. Like I'm kind of glad that I've kind of noticed that people do that now. Heat Life says, how do we get the discount on Fantasy Football Hub? If you click on the link in the description, it should just work. Devay says, does it make any sense to play the wildcard before the transfer window closes? I'm not personally like if you really hate your team, then fair enough, play the wildcard. But it does seem a little bit early to be thinking about the wildcard. I think we're probably looking at From game week 4 onwards, it still seems a little bit early, but game week 5, 6, 7, 8, that's going to be kind of the rough period of time we're going to be wanting to use our wildcard, because we'll have loads of information, we'll have loads of data from multiple game weeks, and yeah, it'll allow us to make a good wildcard team, because we'll just have loads of data to work with. We'll have a good idea of how teams are lining up against different oppositions, and we'll have some consistency to our data rather than just going off of one game week. Yeah, I think we'll be holding off a little bit for our wild card. We'll be holding on. There we go. Let's answer some more questions. Any team news? And Nick Pope. Let's have a look on Twitter, see if we've got any Bailey news, because that's probably the last thing we need to know, isn't it? That's the last thing that can change my mind, but I don't think we're going to get it. I doubt we're going to get it. Let's just do a search. If I just put Bailey FPL and go latest, I will only if people are just chatting waff, then I'll just ignore it. But if we see something that is well liked with a lot of likes on it, then we'll have a look at it. I think Bailey's going to start, if I'm honest. Okay, right. David Ornstein says we're hearing Watkinson. Okay, all right, but this is reliable. No, it's not. It's Spooner being a troll. Yeah. You know what? I might actually just mute him, because it's not useful. So, yeah. That's absolute trolliness. So Bailey is still looking likely. I think he's going to start. Can't see anything otherwise. All right. Well, we'll keep an eye on this, because that will be our last change, I think, for all of us. It should be our last team. Sakir in the chat says, one top 1k finish and suddenly you've become so cocky, lol. Yeah, if I've only had one top 1k finish, then you don't need to copy my team, do you, my friend? Can't believe I fell for that. To be fair, I was only scan reading, but yeah, we dealt with that. Should we put the bench list whilst we're waiting for some? I'll keep an eye on some team news. We'll try and find something. I doubt we're going to get anything though this early on. I think he starts so. Someone said Captain Jesus. I kind of like that as a differential, you know. Show your team right now, or I'm copying another YouTuber. Oh dear. Oh dear. People are saying, like, stop asking for his team, is not going to show. Yeah, but these people they're only just turning up now. They didn't hear me say it. They didn't hear me say it. They only turned up now with the hope of copying a team. But no, I think it's good. Like, me and Andy and a few others are now kind of trying to be a little bit more careful about showing our transfers. Like, yes, fair enough, we can show sometimes, but not all the time. And we can give a rough idea of kind of what we're up to. But I think there is genuinely a real problem with people copying teams like identically. And, you know, they're winning money. You know, they're winning money and they're going into money leagues. It seems like it's cheating. So, yeah. You're quite literally not seeing my team before deadline. I cannot be more clear than that. If that puts you off the whole channel, then you're probably here for the wrong reasons, to be fair. And I think I'd be okay with you leaving or unsubscribing. If you're just here to turn up a few minutes before the end of the stream and copy the team, then that's fine. Like, I'm here to have a laugh. I'm here to, you know, make some fun transfers and enjoy, you know. If you think that's counterintuitive, then fair enough. It's not. Look, it's not going to help my views. I understand that people will watch less FPL Mate, but I'd rather do that. I think I could sleep better at night. You know, because I have had a lot of people. Like, there was one of my friends actually last year. Their colleague won the work mini league and won a lot of money from the work mini league because they'd copied my team all season. And they won a lot of money in a work mini league, and that's I've literally just heard that through a friend. So imagine how often that's happening. It seems tough. Like, I'm happy to give advice. You know, I don't know how useful my advice is, but I'm happy to give my advice. But yeah. Dust says Cash or Bailey. I think I would play Bailey. I think I would play Bailey. Unsubscribing then, please unsubscribe. If you're just here to turn up to the end of the stream, copy a team and move on, then unsubscribe. Because I like to feel like I can offer a little bit more than that. Tell me one reason to pay you and never answer. I don't really understand that. Yeah, a few people in the chat saying, yeah, people did that last year and kind of cheesed mini leagues just from copying teams. It's not. I don't think it's good. Are we locked in, guys? We need to lock in right now. Renegade says, how about a weekly punishment if Mrs. FPL Mate outscores you? I think we could do something like that. But the deadline is passed, guys. We are locked in. We are locked. It is done. The deadline has passed. We're in, guys. I hope everyone's happy. I hope everyone's happy with their team. I hope everyone's feeling confident. I can tell you that I'm not confident. I'm not confident. I'm not confident, and I'll tell you for why. I'll tell you why I'm not confident. Because I didn't make a transfer this game week, guys. This team that I was showing you was the real team all along. It was the real team all along. So, yeah, I've kept Kane. I didn't bring in Haaland. So, yeah. Baller, thank you so much for the stream. Fan, good luck on 150k. Thank you so much, Baller. I appreciate that, man. Look, this is one of the main reasons why I was really strict today with not showing my transfers is because I don't want to be the person to advise you guys to go without Haaland this game week. I don't want to be the guy who advises you to go without Haaland this game week. I don't want to do that. You know, it's not that. It's the sensible advice to give is to tell you buy Haaland. That is obviously the sensible advice to give, right? So when I do something a little bit different, I don't want you guys to feel like you have to follow along. In game week 1, I already had enough comments, people saying, I can't believe you told me to pick Kane over Haaland. I can't believe you told me to do this. I can't believe you told me to do that. If I don't show you my team, then you can't blame me for your decisions. But let me tell you my logic. And we'll see if you guys follow along or agree or not. This game week 2, is not going to go well for me. I understand that. I know that. A big reason why I wanted Haaland was because, I was kind of trying to make the debate. Am I going to make this transfer or not? Am I going to do this or not? I'm trying to look at What are the reasons why I want to make the transfer? Now, one of the reasons I wanted Haaland is to basically impress you guys. That was it. It was, a case of, I don't want to make myself look silly. I want people to come in my chat and say, oh, yeah, great team, Dan. It's looking amazing. You're doing everything exactly how I would do it. And it would just be to kind of it would be for show in a way. When in reality, taking a -4, people don't care when you take a -4. If your team looks good, people love you. People don't care if I take a -8 this game week and get the perfect team. People are going to be like, oh man, this creator is awesome. He's doing exactly what he needs. He's got a great team. But I've taken a -8. But people don't really care about that. Dive in the chat says, don't worry, mate. Kane will be the better option once midweek games start. I moved to Haaland before the price rises, but we'll switch back. Fair enough, man. But yeah, if I had moved early on Sunday and made the transfer before the price rise, then I think I probably would have done it. But I didn't. I hesitated. I missed the price rise, and I came to a situation where I'd have to take a -4. Now, the 4 points is the difference between one goal, basically. If you count it as 2 transfers, because it would be 2 transfers, because now I've actually got a banked transfer. I've got 2 transfers in the bank rather than taking a -4. Then that's 8 points. So what I would need is over a 4-5 game week period, I would need Haaland to outscore Kane by 8 points. Now, we'll see what happens. We'll see what the difference is. If over the next 4 or 5 game weeks, Haaland outscores Kane by more than 8 points, then I've made a mistake. But I'm betting on that not being in the case. Particularly because some of Man City's fixtures after this one, I'm not really that convinced by. Newcastle away, I don't like that as a fixture. Crystal Palace at home, I kind of like that fixture, but I feel like, in the same game week, Kane has got a better fixture. He's got Nottingham Forest in that game week. Yeah, Nottingham Forest, who I think is a very good fixture. After that, City have got Nottingham Forest, but it's a mid-week game, which worries me a little bit. So basically, over this period of 4 or 5 game weeks, I think that Haaland will possibly outscore Kane, but not by more than 8 points. So that is my logic, and that is why I'm going for that. Now, by the end of this game week, I'm gonna look foolish. I know that Haaland is gonna outscore Kane this game week. I know that's gonna happen. But the problem is, when you're actually playing FPL and not just trying to flex on your viewers, you have to think a little bit longer term. And the longer term, over 3 game weeks, I think Kane outscores Haaland. Over 4 game weeks, it probably swings back even a little bit. After this game week, people are going to be like, Dan, you've made a terrible, terrible, terrible mistake. If Haaland scores 1 goal and Kane scores none, people are going to say, Dan, you've made a terrible, terrible mistake. But I don't think that's true. I don't think that's necessarily true. Let's see what happens after 4 or 5 game weeks. That's all I'm thinking. That's all I'm thinking. But Haaland is obviously going to do well today. Like, it's very obvious. It's very obvious he's going to do very well today. But you never know. Look, if Spurs get a penalty against Chelsea, and it could happen, it happens all the time, then that changes everything. If Kane gets just 1 goal tomorrow against Chelsea, suddenly keeping Kane is not going to look like such a bad idea after all. He only needs to get 1 goal, and I think that's enough. I think that's enough to make people reconsider what's the better move. But look, what's the better move? I don't know for sure. I was very much on the fence. There's not much in it. Like I say, I don't want to advise you guys against going for Haaland. Definitely not. It's why I didn't show you my team. As I said, I don't want to advise you guys to go about Haaland because I know by the end of this game week, you're going to be very, very upset. You're going to be very upset. because most people do look at game weeks individually. That's fine. It's a more exciting way of playing FPL. I'm trying to feel like I'm trying to think a little bit further ahead. But let's see. Haaland, goal or two today. Wouldn't be surprised. People saying that Bailey has been arrested for public intoxication. Is that true? Is that true? I don't know. Maybe let's. I mean, I very much doubt it. I very much doubt it. Also, we've got Salah captain, which is fun, which is very fun. I mean, like I love sometimes just doing something a little bit different, and I think going for Salah captain is a little bit different. I think Kane in game week 3 and game week 4 is going to be very interesting, because if Haaland does well today, when he inevitably does, more people are going to sell Kane, even though Kane has better fixtures. So yeah, we're good. And by the way, guys, I mean, we're talking purely about just a Kane and Haaland debate. What about the rest of the team? The rest of the team, for me personally, and I'm sure for you guys as well, don't focus too. I mean, focus a little bit on that debate, the Kane versus Haaland debate, but like the rest of the team, the rest of your FPL team is important as well. Like, the rest of the team do have a part to play. And, knowing FPL, we'll get a random play. We'll get another Fabian Schär or a Pascal Gross will be the top point scorers of this game week again. It was always the case. So as long as you're getting returns all over the pitch, then it's fine. Try not to beat yourself up either way, no matter what happens. But yeah, let's see what's going on with Bailey. Is this another troll? It must be a troll. Let's have a look on Twitter. It seems to be a troll because no one's talking about it. But even if he is benched, it doesn't really matter because we've got a bench for a reason. Renegade says, "Why Scarecrow win award stood out in his field?" We're using super chats for telling jokes now. This whole channel is a joke at this point. Bailey arrested for not transferring in Haaland in for Kane. And he says, "You sound like you're trying to convince yourself." Honestly, mate, I've spent all week trying to convince myself either way. I've gone both ways all week. I've been trying to work it out in my head. And I think one of the best pieces of advice in FPL is, when in doubt, do nothing. So if you really are struggling that much for an answer, your answer is probably do nothing. Blomster says, "Obviously it matters plenty. Bailey will surely come off the bench if he doesn't start." Well, I mean, if he's been arrested, then he's not even going to be on the bench, so it doesn't matter. But it sounds like some fun trolly memes in the chat. Rahul says, "If Salah outscores, and it's possible, big dub." Oh yeah, baby. If Salah does well, then yeah, we're laughing. But look, I'm not counting on it. I'm really not counting on it. I do think I am going to take an L this game week, to be honest. But I think I'll still get a green arrow. I think I'll still get a green arrow this game week because the rest of my team I really like. But yeah, I think I'll lose a little bit of ground on Haaland owners, but that's fine because I'm hoping that I can make it back in game week 3 and 4. So yeah, there we are. A little bit different. I mean, look, at the very least, we're going to get some good Twitter content. We're going to get some very, very good Twitter content, aren't we? Oh boy, we're going to have a lot of Twitter content. People saying they're Captain Cancelo. That's pretty wacky. Jasper says, "Change your name to Chuckles. Well, he didn't even say Chuckles. He said, I'm in danger. You need to put Chuckles. Chuckles, I'm in danger." Yeah, maybe I'll change that. I will change that. I'm not going to leave this page, though, because when you leave this page, it doesn't let you back on it. Because the FPL, the Fantasy Premier League, is updating. Let it update. Are the rumours true that Bailey won't start today? No, the rumours are not true. And we'll find out in like 10 minutes. Bill says, Dan, don't you think you should swap Kane for Haaland? I think you should swap Kane for Haaland. I think I should live life on the edge. I would like to be, this game week, for one game week only, I would like to be the poster boy for not owning Haaland. I hope your thoughts and prayers will be with me at 3 o'clock because I'm going to need them. Shall I watch the game? I mean, I'll probably watch the Arsenal game, to be fair. Maybe I need to get a multi-screen situation going on. Can I bear to watch that game? It's going to be an interesting one, right? Let's see what happens. Let's see what happens. You know, like maybe like KDB outscores Haaland. A few people saying that it could happen. Cormac says, "What's up with Neto? Never personally believed the hype. He played very well game week 1. He just didn't score." So yeah, I think it's a little bit premature to judge Neto. What 3 o'clock kickoffs? I'm going to need to work out what games I'm going to watch. Or not to watch, because watching the 3 o'clock kickoffs in the UK would be illegal. So what games am I going to listen to on the radio is what I should have said and what I actually meant. So Arsenal versus Leicester and Man City versus Bournemouth. But I've also got Neto in that Fulham game. But yeah, Arsenal versus Leicester. I don't even know why that's a 3 o'clock kickoff. That's obviously a very good game. Like that's probably, other than Chelsea Spurs, that's probably the game of the week, isn't it? I would say. Hwang Hee-chan to score 2 and assist 1. It could happen. It could happen. Yeah, I reckon Neto scores today. Paul Van Rensburg says, Chelsea have kept a clean sheet against Spurs in the last 4 EPL matches home and away. Yep, Spurs do not have a... hang on. Let's have a look at Kane's record. I know Kane's record versus Spurs is very bad, by the way. It's very bad. And let me show you how bad it is. It's something like 4 goals in 17 games or something like that. Maybe it's not quite that severe, but it's pretty bad, yeah. Okay. 4 goals in the Premier League, anyway. 4 goals and 2 assists in 14 Premier League games against Chelsea. Now, what do you make of that, guys? Did I say versus Spurs? I meant versus Chelsea. I do apologise. Last 4 games, there are 4 clean sheets. Last 5 games, I mean, to be fair, he wasn't playing in a couple of these games. But over the last 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, over the last 7 Premier League games, Chelsea versus Spurs, Spurs have scored once. 1 in 7. It all changes today. It all changes today. Well, tomorrow. It all changes tomorrow. If Kane scores tomorrow, we are going wild. We're going mad. We're going big. We're gonna... I mean, it's not going to happen. But if it does happen, it's not. But if it does, it's not going to happen, then everything changes. The Conte effect. Exactly. The Conte effect. It's about to be 1 in 8. It's about to be 1 goal in 8. Who knows? It'll be 0-0. I mean, it probably will be 0-0, to be honest. I don't know. I just feel like if Chelsea give away the chances that they did last game week, then you know you back a Kane or a Son to score some of those chances, don't you? PSV says best chances now considering all the changes to Chelsea, and that was that's kind of what I was thinking. Like I feel like now is probably the time. If the record is going to be broken, it's going to be now. I mean, I don't pay too much attention to historical records in general, to be honest, because usually there's a lot of context around it. Jandre says Chelsea 2, Spurs 2. If it's a 2-2, then we're absolutely laughing, aren't we? Kane hat-trick. Kane is not scoring a hat-trick against Chelsea. It's just not happening. It is just not happening. Is Son a good pick against Chelsea? It's not bad. It's not bad. You really think it's going to be 2-2? I know Chelsea's defence didn't look great, but 2-2 seems a lot. I mean, it could happen. It could happen. I just can't see that game being incredibly high scoring. It's, maybe not. I don't know. Remember that 5-3? All right. I'll refer you to the Premier League 2014-15 season, where Kane got 2 goals and 2 assists against Chelsea. If that happens again, oh my God! Imagine if that happens again. Imagine. It's going to be amazing. Amir says, I don't know what Neto and Bailey are doing in your team because they're good football players. People look at a team and say this player did not score for 1 game week and suddenly they're terrible players, man. Like, come on. I'm making you doubt Haaland. Don't make me doubt Haaland. He's only going to score an own goal and get a red card today. Don't worry about it. Let's have a look, see if we've got any early team news. I don't think we've got any early team news, but we might. Nothing so far. I mean, we get proper team news in 10 minutes anyway, so there's no major rush. Einar says, if you wouldn't have spent all your money, would you have gone for Haaland? Yeah, probably. Probably, yeah. Chelsea 3, Tottenham 4. Don't. I love it so much. I love it so much. I shouldn't love it as an Arsenal fan, really. But we'll have the Spurs shirt on tomorrow. No, we won't. I love your optimism. I do not share in that optimism, but I appreciate it nonetheless. Dave Lister, thank you very much for becoming a member of the channel. I appreciate that. Throwing some emojis into the chat to say hello. Things you love to see. How many people have we got in there? We've still got 2,600 post deadline. Thank you so much, everyone, joining me in the stream today. If you haven't subscribed, I would really appreciate it if you did. That would be pretty awesome. Please do subscribe if you're new. Like the stream as well if you like. It's optional. Someone said 5-5. Someone said 8-2 to Spurs. Kane 5 goals. Can you imagine? Conte Spurs is very different, and yeah, that's exactly the point, isn't it? Conte Spurs is very different, and it's interesting. It's interesting, and it could happen. But look, Haaland is going to outscore Kane this game week. Like, come on, he's just going to do it. Franzane says, same as you, didn't swap Kane for Haaland. We're going to need some luck. Because, yeah, I don't know. I actually did see, and this is copium. If Kane owners or people who don't own Haaland, I'm going to inject you with a dose of copium. Now, I saw a predicted lineup matrix where people try and predict the Man City lineup, because the Man City lineup changes every game, as we know. The chances of Haaland starting today, the chance of Haaland starting the game today is 78%, which means that there is a 22% chance that Haaland does not start the game. It's a 22. I mean, there's a chance. So there you go, guys. There's some copium for you. Maybe that helps, but I mean, the copium. It runs out at 3 o'clock. Well, no, it runs out at 2 p.m. UK time when we see Haaland is starting. But yeah, look, it's very, very difficult to predict who's going to play at what time for Man City. It's an absolute nightmare. Ahmad says, became a member 15 minutes ago. Where's my shout out? I didn't see you. I'm so sorry, Ahmad. I'm so sorry, my friend. But thank you for becoming a member. I appreciate that, my dude. People saying, "Oh, he is starting though, isn't he?" Yeah, I'm not saying he's not going to start. I'm not saying it's not going to. He's going to start. 22% still means he's got a 78% chance of starting. That's a decent amount. That's a good 78% is a lot. You've got a good chance. But there's a chance. But even if he comes off the bench, he still scores off the bench, doesn't he? So it doesn't really matter against tired legs. Can you imagine? The thing is, I think I don't know. I don't know how this game is going to play out, to be honest. I think obviously Bournemouth will just sit back. They did well sitting back against Aston Villa, to be fair, just kind of constricting Aston Villa to have to constantly just take long shots, and that doesn't really favour Man City. But Man City are so used to breaking down oppositions. Like, that's what they do. They're used to teams sitting back in front of them, dropping deep. But yeah, let's see. Lloyd Kelly to pocket Haaland. Who says no? I say no. I say no. Mikhail says, I captain Mount. You are crazy. You are crazy. Renegade Squirrel. We got a really long name. Let's just call you Squirrel. Renegade Red Squirrel. We're just going to call you Squirrel now. Everyone should be a member. It's ridiculously cheap for what you get. Yeah, the price is set to as cheap as YouTube would let me set it. I don't think you really get that much though. You get your name highlighted in the chat and you get to use emojis. But you do get the blackcurrant squash emoji, which is a very important part of life. Cormac is hungry for points. Lewis says, overslept. Anything I missed since yesterday? You missed the deadline, my friend. Haaland has got an anterior cruciate ligament injury. And Salah has moved to Juventus. Other than that, you didn't miss anything. Be interesting. It'll be interesting that happened. Is Captain Saka good for today? It could be interesting. Like, it could be fine. Would I do that? Probably not, no. Mikhail says, I'm just trying my luck on Mount. I think he's going to get an assist. Is that all? Is that all you're going for? Is that the set your standards higher? An assist is not worth that much in FPL. He's like, we need, like, for captains, I like to pick a player who I think could score a hat-trick. If a player I think could reasonably score a hat-trick in a game, then I'm happy to captain him. Otherwise, I'm probably not going to captain him. Do I think Mount is going to score a hat-trick against Spurs? No, I do not. Yeah. Bongo says, sold, fantastic name by the way, sold Saka for Kulusevski to avoid a price rise. Is it a mistake? Probably. Saka's probably going to outscore Kulusevski. Dylan says, I will cry like a baby if Haaland blanks. Don't judge the decision. You made a decision to go for Haaland. It's a good decision. It's a good decision. Like, going for Haaland captain against Bournemouth is one of those no-brainer moves. It's a good transfer. You've done a good move, whether it works or not, and it will work, by the way. Then you're good. You're on for a good one. Joe Banks says, how did the missus do, Dan? This was her team last week. This week she swapped cash for Fabian Schär, and she's benched Thiago Silva and is playing Creswell. So she's on to an interesting start. She's still got Kane and Son, which is probably not going to go well this game week, but next game week she might be flying. She could be absolutely flying. How do you see Leeds getting on against Southampton? Have Meslier and Aronson. I think pretty good. I think it could be pretty good. Santi G says, I can't see my team on the app. Why is that? Yeah, FPL does this thing where, like, for the half an hour after the deadline ends, it does an updating thing. Maybe sometimes it's like 45 minutes, sometimes it's an hour. And you just can't see your account for, like, until, like, half an hour before kickoff. It's kind of annoying, but I guess that's just how they process the data internally and all of the changes, and just take the site down for a little bit. So yeah, triple captain. Now we ain't talking about triple captains quite yet. Troma says we all know that's your differential. You think I would go for a team like this? You think I'd make a transfer, Matty Cash to Fabian Schär? No chance. Think I would double up on Spurs players and have one Arsenal? Oh, actually, she's got Ramsdale, to be fair. Do you think I'd have Ollie Watkins in my team? A player who I famously hate in my FPL team because he's such a troll. I like him as a player. I think he's a trolly FPL asset, though. You never know what's going to happen with him. All right, we're going to get team news any second now. So let's go. If I just go on like fantasy official FPL. And they should be retweeting the team news now. We'll be able to see it right away. Do some refreshes. And any second now, we'll get the team news. I'm sure some of you guys have already seen it, but I'll wait on here. Come on. Here we go. Right. We got the team. So let's do Everton first. Pickford. Patterson, the boy, is back, playing at right wing back. Patterson's going to get some points this season. I can feel it. Still no big attackers, really. It's like the front three of Gray, Gordon and McNeil doesn't fill me with confidence, if I'm honest. But he's had a midfield two of Decore and Iwobi. Yeah, possibly. Yeah, you look at these Everton teams and you are a little bit... You do feel like, especially in attack, it's kind of like, meh. But it is good to see, Tarkowski and Cody coming into that Everton defence is going to be interesting. All right, let's have a look at... Okay, right, well, there's a notable absentee, a notable one-pointer that we are going to get. Huzzah! 1 point. 1 point, Bailey. All right, okay. So, all right, let's just lock in that 1 point right now. We can all have a cry together. Oh, well. Well, I mean, at least that makes an easy transfer out at some point in the near future. Yeah, it looks like they have switched the formation back to the narrow 4-3-1-2. Yeah. Which was always a possibility, to be fair. It was always going to be a possibility. But that is annoying. It's annoying. It's one of those things. Could score off the bench. Could score off the bench. Maybe. Don't count him out yet. It could still happen. But, yeah. He's 5 million. Remember, guys, he's 5 million. Like, you can't expect too much. But yeah, it's a bit annoying. Like, in hindsight, obviously, you wish you'd play Andreas over Bailey, but look, it's one of those things. One of those things. Oh, well. I mean, to be fair, Bailey not starting is going to be the least of my worries today. I'm not going to lie. Let's reconsider. If Aston Villa perform poorly again today, then we'll kind of know it's not a formation issue, and then maybe Bailey comes back into the team. In terms of replacements, I would probably just, De Silva, I'd just probably go back down to a 4.5, to be honest. I think you can get away with having two 4.5 midfielders and rotating those two, and also going in with a Patterson as well. I think that actually could be okay. So, yeah. There we go. Right, well, we've got the team news. I reckon it's time for me to go and get myself set up to watch some football. But I've got no player. I've got no horses in this race. I've got Patterson on my bench. I guess no horses in this race, but football's football. We're going to end it there, guys. Make sure you like the stream. Make sure you subscribe if you haven't done already. Thank you so much for watching today. Good luck, everyone, this game week, unless you're a Haaland owner. If you're a Haaland owner, bad luck. Sending you the most negative vibes imaginable. I'm going to dunk on you with Kane tomorrow. So, hold that L. Thank you for watching. Really do appreciate it. Good luck this game week, in all seriousness. I'm sure you guys are all going to absolutely smash it. You'll do absolutely fine. Don't worry too much. Remember, it's just a game. And remember, don't judge your whole FPL season over a couple of game weeks. There's a long season ahead, and it's going to be very much about how you deal with your situations rather than the situations you find yourselves in. So thanks, guys. Take care. Enjoy the football. Hopefully see some of you guys over on Twitter for some of the chats for the action. And I'll see you later, mates. Bye-bye.